Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It is March 2024 and it's a little weird not posting YouTube videos every day. I've been keeping busy though. Spring is coming. I've been working on tomato plants and building flower beds. Been running some more, and I've actually been kind of sequestered at work for the past week. So I've been working like 70, 80-hour work weeks. So it's been a lot going on in the month of March, but March started off pretty good for me. So for the month of March, I made $53,005. And so once a year, I get a 16% bonus based on my base salary. I got a pay increase this month, so I'm at 174,000 as my base salary now. And so for this year, our multiple was almost 2% of the target payout. That can be a little confusing. So about 30% bonus is what I got this year. So that turned out to be $39,765 before tax. And yeah, once they took taxes out of it, it ended up being like 26,000. So I knew it was coming. It came like early March. So basically, all of that I brought in and put it towards house number 8 here. But so at the beginning of March, I was making $6,500 a month gross or per 2 weeks biweekly gross income, and now I'm at 6,701. So I got a like 2.5% pay increase, which it's really not great, I guess, the pay increase. Inflation's about 4.6% right now, and I got 2.5. So I'm negative. I basically got a pay decrease of 2.1% this year. Not very many people look at it like that, but I see it from that perspective, but then I also see it from a perspective where I'm probably one of the highest paid employees. Well, I'm for sure the highest paid employee in the group that I work in. And so for most companies, the way that pay increases work, like your boss will get a bucket of money. Let's say that bucket is, let's say it's $30,000 and there's 6 people on your team. So scenario one is each person could get $5,000. And so therefore, some people may get 1% if they make a ton of money, or some people may get 10%, but each person's getting $5,000. So it makes it harder when the group gets a large, like when your group is large and you have somebody that makes a lot of money, their percentage increase that they get is typically a lot lower. And so since I am in that position at my job, I ended up being like $4,200 a year pay increase, which is good. So if I made 40,000 a year, that would be a 10% pay increase. But since my base salary is 174, it was only a 2.5%. So that kind of explains that. I got just killed on taxes this month because of the bonus. Bonuses, they tax at like 33%. So I had to pay $13,800 in taxes for the bonus. This was also the first month that my wife is staying home now. So she left her main job to watch our daughter. And so since we're in a position now where it's not too big of a deal that we do that, yeah, so this was the first full month that she was doing that. So she's kind of getting into the groove of things and still staying extremely busy. But we had to switch over from her insurance to my insurance. So we're continuing to do the HSA. So I am putting $316 in every 2 weeks into the HSA. That should max out that every single year. My employer gives me $1,300 a year for my HSA, where hers gave her $2,600. So that is something that was kind of new. I had to add in this HSA column here. Also had to add in insurance because we left the insurance that we were on at her main job that we see here. So insurance almost doubled. So it was 186 for the three of us in November of last year. And so now with my employer, it's $345. For comparison, though, if you were on, I think it's Medicaid or Medicare, you would probably pay like $800 or $900 per person. So we would probably be out like $1,500 a month if we were on Medicaid or Medicare. So still, in comparison, extremely cheap for insurance. But $345 a month is our insurance. That's for vision, dental, and everything. So take home pay for me was 34,000. She is still doing her adjunct teaching, so teaching a few credit hours every semester. So she made about $1,400 there, took home $1,100. All the tenants paid their rents, nobody paid late, so 25 for that, and then no other income this month. I am working on some stuff. I am taking some classes, I'll say. We I will keep that a surprise. So hopefully in the next couple months I can get through those classes and maybe have some potential for some extra income there. But other than that, I am working on firewood to sell in November and December. I am at about, I don't know, 5 or 6 ricks, or maybe 2 full cords, or five 1/3 of a cord, whatever you want to call it. So hopefully I can get to like 30 or 40 ricks and make $4 or $5,000 come later this year. So working on that, but nothing right now. So gross income for the month was almost 57,000. Take home pay was almost 38,000. Net worth, nothing changed with the houses compared to last month. So it's at 1.63 million. So up about $2,500 compared to last month. The market was also up about 3.6% this month. So really, I mean, pretty good. So for us, if we have 512,000, and 3.6% of 512,000 is about 18,000. So if you add that in, that puts us at 530, and we're at 534,000. So that pretty much makes sense. I put in 794 with my 401k. So we were probably up a little bit more than what the market was this month. I did get the employer match as well, but we were probably up 4% overall. So pretty good. HSA account is at 64,832, so increase of about $3,800 compared to last month. My 401k is at 242,716, and that is almost a $10,000 jump compared to last month. And then for my wife's 403b, it's just riding on right now. We're not doing any contributions to it because she doesn't work for that employer anymore. So hers went up about $9,000. Yeah, compared to last month without her putting any money into it at all. So that's kind of cool to see, but we'll see over time like what happens between these two. I know, like for the past like 10 or 15 years, hers has always been like $10,000, maybe $20,000 behind what mine's been, and sometimes it'll fluctuate between like 10 and 20,000. So now that I am continuing to contribute to my 401k, we'll kind of see like this will basically be what the market does, what the S&P 500 does, which is most of her investments are S&P 500, and then we'll see how just not doing anything, not putting any money in, how that does for over the long term versus mine. I'm contributing about 6%, or about $20,000 per year into mine. So yeah, we'll kind of compare the two and see. But as of right now, it's about 15-ish thousand-dollar difference between the two. But for our total investments, we're at $534,075. And then for houses, basically, I'm just continuing to work the plan that I set out probably close to a year ago now. So these first three, the two rental properties, House 5 and House 7, I'm just making minimum payments on those. So they are around $88,000 a piece, which I should comment on that a little bit. I have probably these extremely undervalued right now in the spreadsheet. So houses in my area, let's say 4 or 5 years ago, I could find houses between like 90 to 130,000, like fairly consistently, and that's what I bought these two for. Was 110 and 120 for each one of them. Now I cannot find a single house in my town for under like 240,000. There's a couple houses between like 190 and 230, but they're immediately contingent. They don't sit on the market for any time whatsoever. So these are even houses like the houses that are 240 that aren't contingent. They're like maybe, I don't know, 900 square feet, maybe 1,000 square foot houses. And like for house number 5 here, we have it at 191. This is like a 1,700 square foot house. So I know for a fact I have these extremely undervalued. I bet house number 7 is actually like 230, and I bet house number 5 is probably like 250,000 roughly. So I'm probably losing out on maybe 70-ish thousand dollars of net worth here, but I'm just going to keep them the same for now. Kind of my game plan, if one of the tenants moves out, which I don't ever think they will, because there's no other place for them to rent that's as cheap as what these are. This one's 1350 and this one's 1175. So there's really no other places in the area. Rents are really 1800-ish right now in my area. But if either one of them moves out, I may think of selling these and then just putting them all towards house number 8. But we'll just have to see what happens. But I'm not going to evict anybody or sell it when somebody's living there. So we'll see what happens there. For land number 8, this is 15-year fixed rate at 3.7%. So we're just paying the minimum payment, but it's paying off about $1,015 a month. So hopefully here in 5-6 years, it'll be whittled down to like 120 or 130. And then the main goal for us is house number 8. This is a 30-year fixed at 5.25%. We started paying this off in June of this year when we first moved in. So in June we were at 686,000. We sold out of house number 4, put that money towards house number 8. This is the house my wife and I live in now. We got it down to 509, and then I basically put $15,000 of my bonus this month just all towards house number 8 and paid it down. So it's at $447,898. So yeah, knocked it down about 16,000 this month, which is way ahead of pace. I was supposed to pay it down like 5,000, maybe 4,700 this month. So we absolutely killed that. Only a couple other things to note here. So for checkings account, we made the decision. So my bonus was about 26,000. 15,000 of that we put on house number 8. 10,000 of that we're keeping in cash. So my justification of that is, so we are holding more risk now. So my wife is staying at home. She works a little bit, part-time, maybe 10, 15 hours a week. But her main source of income, where she was making $65-ish thousand a year, we no longer have that. And so we are, realistically speaking, we are in a riskier scenario now than what we were a couple months ago. I'm making a little bit more money than I was a couple months ago, but if I were to lose my job, we wanted a little bit more emergency fund. So $30,000 might last us like 4 or 5 months. $40,000 would probably last us like 6 or 7 months if we were really to buckle down. And so we decided that, in 6 or 7 months, I'm fairly confident I could find another job in the pharmaceutical industry. I have my master's degree in quality assurance, which is like very sought after in pharmaceuticals. So we made the decision just to beef up our checkings account up to 40,000. So yeah, it was at 30,000 last month, 40,000 this month, and it's the same formula that we're going to implement from here on out. We'll keep it just at 40,000 here. Next month, if we end the month and we're at 42,000, we'll put that $2,000 and pay down house number 8 and just keep it there at 40,000. For the rental checkings account, nothing really happened this month. We were up about $600 compared to last month. That's kind of just the going rate now. I used to be able to profit about $1,000 a month in cash. I did not have a single like repair that I had to make this month. Yeah, basically just paying trash, water, gas on one of them, and I think that's really it. And insurance, taxes. But yeah, so my rents just I've not kept up with the market. Like I said earlier, the market's like $1,600 to $1,800 a month in rent. Property taxes keep going up, and I've not raised the tenants' rents to keep up with all of that. Again, my justification is I've made in the last 4 or 5 years, I've made 100 and something $1,000s on property value increase, and which I've not realized yet. So I'm keeping their rents relatively low. I don't really want the turnover. Right now, I probably worked 70, 75 hours last week. So it made for, I'm usually leaving my house around 6 a.m. and I've been getting home around 7:30 or 8 p.m. So I have about an hour to change clothes, take a shower, eat dinner, and go to bed. So that's kind of my Monday through Friday. It's pretty hectic at the moment. So I don't really want to deal with somebody moving out of one of the houses, having the turnover, having to, paint and remodel it. My weekends are absolutely jam packed between helping family and helping, doing chores around the house, and I'm trying to split firewood. And we live on 66 acres here, and I mow about 10 acres. And so just keeping up with mowing is a little tricky. So I'll probably start burning through some PTO now that it's getting to be nice weather. So I'll probably start taking Fridays off or taking Mondays off or something. But yeah, so All that to say, we saved about $600 in the rental checkings account, so we're up to 22,570, which is almost back to the all-time highs. I think the highest I've ever had this is like 23,000, but I feel fairly safe with that. Between these two, if I lost, I always try to think worst case scenario. So worst case scenario, I lose my job. It takes me 3 or 4 months to find another job that is above 150. We have $62,000 in cash that we could eat through, which is probably about a year's worth of expenses for us. So before I say net worth here, just quickly taking a look at house number eight's loan. So we're here in March. We put $15,000 of extra payment down. So total payment this month was $17,813. So we knocked down the principal $15,700. I'm still paying it crazy every month. $2,030 a month in interest is what we're paying. But if you look kind of compared to the last few months, I mean, we were at 2,200, and now we're down to 2,030. So we're saving like $200-ish a month in just interest by paying this thing off fast. So this was my schedule to get this thing paid off in 5 years. So this is my goal pace. I really want to have the house paid off in the next 5 years. That will take off a lot of kind of stress and how much money that my family will need to survive, air quote survive. So without a mortgage payment, like we can probably live off a few $1,000s a month, and so that is that much sooner that I could quit my job. So within 5 years, this month I would need to be at 486,000. I'm actually at 448,000, so I am almost $40,000 ahead of what my goal pace is. So it's looking like, based on my math, we're beating the 4 year pace, but we're definitely not hitting the 3 year pace. So it's looking like 3.5 years would be what it takes to pay off. So that would be probably sometime in, let's see here. It says last payment would be March 30th, 2028. We'd be at $0 here. So that is, I mean, yeah, that's exactly 4 years away. But I do have some tricks up my sleeve. Once I get to like 110, 120,000, there's some stuff that I can sell that would basically knock a year off. So probably realistically looking like March of 2027 is when I would have this paid off. Unless I can split like a million ricks or cords of firewood, then that might expedite it a little bit faster. But jumping back to net worth here, so we ended out March with net worth of $1,410,726. So that's another increase this month of about 52,000 compared to last month. So we've really had a really good start to the year. In December, we were at 1.26 million, and now we're at 1.41 million. So, again, I keep mentioning this, but the first 4 years it took me to save $100,000, and then now within 60 days, I've went from 1.304 up to 1.41. So I've made $106,000 in 60 days. So that's about what, $2,000 roughly a day. Um, so it goes to show, like, in the very beginning, it's extremely hard to get that $100,000 saved up. But then once you can cross the million, and get to 1.3, 1.4 million, $100,000 is just 60 days for some people. So it's probably crazy to me. Someone that has 100 million or a billion would probably say, "Oh my gosh, it took him 60 days to make 100,000. I made that in like 3 days." So it's all relative, but if you're in the beginning where you're trying to save and get to that 100,000, just stick with it. And it takes a long time, but it gets shorter and shorter, and your future self will thank you. So, yeah, we're wrapping up the month with 1,410,000, and then in terms of my goal pace, I am $438,503 ahead of the goal pace of having $4 million by 40 years old. So overall, a really, really good month for the month of March. The bonus helped significantly this month. We had a couple expenses. Something I should note too, I am working with, I'll just say, a government agency that works with people that have land and taking care of their land. And so I'm on basically I need to kill invasive species on my property and do some other stuff. The government will pay me money to take care of my property. And so I'm working through a few of those things. Since I'm pretty much maxed out on time, I'm hiring somebody else to do that for me. And so right now I paid them the first like $2,700. The first year it should be about 16,000, and I should get 28,000 from the government. So I should be able to profit 12,000 from that. So that's one of the tricks that I have up my sleeve that it's good for me because I'm able to take care of my property for free and then make some extra money as well, and keep working on paying down house number 8. So that's something I didn't mention, but some of my income is also going towards that right now. And basically, I have to do the work first, and then I get reimbursed from the government later. So yeah, just wrapping up March here. So net worth is at 1.41 million. And yeah, so thank you all for watching the video. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Last month's and next month's videos are on the screen now. And as always, if you have any questions, comments, things that you'd like to see in future videos, just comment them down below. Thanks everybody, and we'll see you in the next video.